welcome back. Welcome back. File in, take a seat. So the bad news is this is the final portion of the day. But the good news is we have 3 absolutely exquisite sessions for you. Some absolute doozies. So without further ado, I will introduce our next headliner, who is a representative from a Montreal company, CAE, where she leads global technology teams to shape the company's broader strategic direction to maximize business growth, while also overseeing the development of CAE's digital and technology roadmaps. As a strategic thought leader, she's worked with Fortune 500 companies to develop high-density skilled teams across geographies to the benefit from diversity of thoughts in problem solving. Today, she's here to talk to us about applied AI for a sustainable and safe future in aviation and defence. Please welcome to the stage Abha Dogra, Chief Digital and Technology Officer and member of the Executive Management Committee at CAE. Welcome to the stage, Abha.
Good afternoon. I hope you have been having a good day and I can build upon your experience. Not a guarantee, but I'll try. Just to introduce myself, I am Abha Dogra, and I'm the Chief Digital and Technology Officer for a global technology and software company called CAE. This is our 75th year. This is the week we are celebrating our anniversary. It's a big week for us, and I'm super delighted to be presenting on this stage about all the good work that we do. Just to introduce ourselves. So CAE, as I mentioned, is a 75-year-old company. What we do, we produce technology, both in forms of hardware, software, embedded software, to keep the world safe. Our solutions are meant to enable learning, training, and make intelligent operations decisions, primarily in the verticals of aviation, defense, security, and healthcare. Just to give you a stats, in the world of civil aviation, we train more than 1 million hours of training through our simulators, through our software. We train most of the allied services world over, different countries, help them train not just as pilots, but help them train on mission-critical operations, rescue operations. How do you go together as a unit? We train them. And same way on healthcare, we help create the workforce for future so that we can all be healthy and safe. So as I said, our mission is safety, but building upon sustainability. I'll just share 4 use cases of how we apply AI. As per the recent study done by Stanford, AI is reaching a stage of deployment. So AI has been there forever. Then the tech came in, cloud came in, and now the world of application of AI, all forms of AI, be it computer vision, robotics, anything to do with generative AI, machine learning models, deep neural networks. It's in the form of application now in the industrial, manufacturing, and all kind of verticals across the world. At CAE, we have always been on the cutting edge. Defense, aviation has always been the innovator to push the edge because they have to be super safe, super secure. They keep the world safe. They keep the humans safe. So they have always been on the bleeding edge, and so has been CAE. So one of the area where we apply AI, data, computer vision, is by enabling a continuum to provide learning and training to pilots of the future, the units in defense that keeps countries safe, And we do that in form of offering a continuum through our hardware products. You can see on this chart, we enable mixed reality-based self-learning, adaptive learning to ab initio, to young students, young cadets. They can self-learn themselves because we provide them those tools and technologies where they can learn through adaptive learning, meaning as you are learning yourself, based on your proficiency, you get subjected to the training that you are being offered. And then we take you through the mechanism of application of data, through the mechanism of biometrics, through the mechanism of collecting data from real planes, from simulators, putting it all together to help you become more proficient. Just to give you a stats, a young student who wants to become a pilot has to spend approximately $250 per hour to gain the trainings or to learn and to become a trained pilot. That's a big barrier to entry. Through this kind of a platform, we enable you to self-learn and really optimize your expenses on becoming a pilot. Likewise, we help the world to be more sustainable because the more pilots get trained, which is a regulated industry, a pilot has to be trained every 6 months. It's a regulated industry. The more you get trained on such devices, we are reducing carbon emission. So just to give us stats, pre-70s, most of the trainings were done on the actual planes. Now in the civil aviation space, that metrics is around 60% simulators, 40% on the actual devices. Military and defense, a little bit higher. For every 1-hour flight for a major carrier, like an A320 or a A340, we are talking about $50,000 per hour of fuel plus carbon dioxide emission. So with our software, with our technology, we help the world to be safe, but we are also helping us to be more sustainable. We also help airlines. What do we do with the airlines? You can read the stats. There are approximately 300 airlines world over. 250 out of them are CAE's customers. And what we help them do is we help them run their operations in a smart manner. How do we do that? We provide them predictions. Airlines is a very complex operations. We all travel all the time. Airports, cargo, gate, which gate do you have to go to? If it is delayed by 10 minutes, the gate at the destination might be given up to some other plane. What happens in that case? How do I get allocated a new gate? And how do I, as an airline who spend money on fuel, optimize my taxing time, my route, to actually save, optimize my spend, but also reduce the carbon dioxide emission, because aviation industry overall is highly committed to sustainability goals. So we provide solutions as part of our platforms to help predicting the delays. Weather conditions, we all experienced, hopefully you all saw what happened during Christmas time in United States. But our solution helps to recover, to predict. If a delay like that happens, how can you quickly recover and take everyone back to their destinations? We also enhance crew productivity. Crews, they are on a daily rosters. What if one gets sick? Who can take up their position? We help to optimize the crew productivity. We help to optimize wastage of food, the meal packages that get served. We help to build predictability of how much will be used so that we can minimize the wastage. So a lot of predictability, optimization, and recoverability is where we provide our solutions. We are also helping to apply AI for future. I hope you all have heard about advanced air mobility. This is the major disruption that's happening in the world of logistics and in the world of transportation. This is where use cases like air taxis is actually going to be a reality in upcoming years. But it's going to be different. It's not a helicopter, it's not a big commercial plane. These are air taxis which will fly in high density areas. 2, 3, 4, 5 manned people Unmanned air vehicles for cargo, drones, how do you regulate them? How do you optimize them? How do you optimize their traffic? How do you help in their operations where they can be seamlessly integrated to the whole value chain of transportation? Won't it be nice that I land at Boston Logan Airport? I'm already plugged in through an eVTOL to take me to New Hampshire, where I'm already plugged in through an Uber app to actually finally get to my destination. This is what we do, this is what we are working on, and our solutions are helping us to do that. And the last but not the least is digital twins. Everything is now having a co-pilot. If you are a developer, you have a co-pilot in form of GitHub, you have a synthetic instructor, and we provide everything, but at scale. The concept of digital twin, what do? We help to create a synthetic pilot, co-pilot for everything you can visualize. Cities, synthetic cities, so that you can simulate a disaster scenario. You can simulate a scenario like a COVID. I hope that never happens. We never have to simulate that again, but you can do that if you have to. You can simulate any kind of scenario at any scale through our solutions. And just to give a specific example where we are working right now with some of the Fed authorities as a pilot is to do the next generation offshore wind maintenance solutions. As you know, the wind turbines are generally in very remote, tough ecosystems, but they have to be maintained. How do you inspect them? How do you make sure that you are inspecting proactively and you are maximizing the green energy generation by applying all the advanced technologies? That's what we do. We apply AI. We help to ensure we can inspect, we can predict, and can help maintain to enable more and more green source of energy generations. So in the end, AI is at a stage where its adoption is at its prime time. As I said, every industry, every vertical is adopting it. We at CAE, we are adopting it, but given our mission of safety, security, and sustainability, we are also very responsible towards it. The way that we are adopting it is to drive and maximize our mission of safety, keeping us safe, whether we are in air, whether we are sitting at our home. That's what we are to our customers. And while advanced technologies are there to stay, be it mixed reality, computer vision, AI, robotics, it has to be adopted in a very responsible manner. So on behalf of all the advanced technologists, I know AI is core to all of us, but adoption of it in a very responsible way to make ourselves safe and secure is the message I'll leave with all of you. So I'll take up any questions, but very delighted to be with all of you here.
Thank you very much, Abha, for a fascinating presentation. I'm now going to, with your permission, throw it out to the audience. Please raise your hand if you have any questions for Abha based on her presentation, or a general question. I think we have a question in the front here. Where's our mic runner? There she is. Thank you very much.
Hi, Mrs. Abha. Carlos here. Within the areas of impact that CAE has, I was wondering if artificial intelligence, if you see it having a higher impact in one versus the other in terms of timelines and impact they can have in synthetic environments versus aviation versus healthcare, or are they pretty much taking the same level of advantage of AI technologies?
I think that's a very good question. If I have to say the verticals that we are working in, if you see all the three verticals that we are working in, they are equally important. They are all about human safety. And hence, it's very difficult to pick and choose because we are driven by that mission. But having said that, the direct applicability, given the geopolitical and macro situations, I see it very applicable with the future of transportation, advanced air mobility, as an example, right? It's going to be in high density. It's an area which I think we all as human beings will see for the first time. Suddenly we are sitting here or you are sitting in your patio and you will start seeing an air taxi. Is that a corridor? They should be going there, right? And the amount of safety and the predictability about the safety of the device, but the safety and the training of the crew and the pilot becomes all the more important because of the areas and the high density and the altitude at which they'll be flying. So I do see it that while it's everywhere, but the future with things like advanced air mobility training and ensuring that it's really very safe, I would consider it to be paying extra attention.
Thank you. A great question. Do we have any other questions? Please raise your hand. Wave it around. I have a question, Abha, and it's kind of, I guess it's a double question. So the first part of it is, it's interesting, we've had kind of startups on this stage, and, we've had a lot of discussions actually today about trust and safety around AI, and clearly you guys have been in the business of trust and safety and keeping people safe for a really long time. I think you said 75 years, which is really incredible. So I guess my question is, what could AI practitioners learn from, your industry and speaking more broadly about aviation and defence and what they've had to learn over many years about keeping people safe and making sure that systems are robust before they put them in flight, pun intended. And I guess the other question is, what, as a legacy company with a very long history, what are you learning now from the broader AI environment that keeps you evolving and as cutting edge as you quite clearly are?
I think that's a very pertinent question that everyone is asking right now. I think you asked me two questions. One is adoption of technology. When there is a hyped technology, and AI is at its peak right now. Any one of us who have been in the industry like me, cloud was there, and then BI came, and then many other pieces came, and AI is at its peak. It's very important to adopt and be aware of a newer set of advanced technology. However, it's very important that anyone who's adopting it is aware in their context and being responsible that before they actually apply it to make decisions that can actually impact the outcomes, it should be done with high and intention of not just adopting it to be first in the market. That's one thing. The second thing about AI is, I think, as I said, there's a lot of conversations going on, and especially with ChatGPT and some of the generative AI that has happened is, if you will see, the creators of those technologies themselves are saying that, if anyone heard Sundar Pichai on 60 Minutes just last week, is this concept of hallucination, right? Because when you train these language models, these big language models, they are trained on set of data where they are only trained up to a certain extent. But the more we are feeding them, they then start hallucinating, and then you really do not know what's the true piece of information and what's not. So I think anyone who is in any kind of industry where you are providing a solution, the complete accountability and responsibility is on the solution provider. That what's the data you are training on? Is the data free of biases? Is the data set big enough that is representative of the world? Right? We know the data sets, even for the generative language models today that we have seen, are not unbiased because the data sets are very skewed depending upon how they were collected. So there is all of those aspects which I believe any responsible organization is looking at, and it's very important that we consider that.
Yeah, completely agree. Thank you very much. Please give a big hand to Abha Dogra from CAE. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.